So welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about homeschooling. Today was the second day of homeschooling for us this year, and I just wanted to kind of touch on my little system that I'm doing this year. I get a lot of questions on Instagram. I haven't done a lot of homeschool content on this channel this year pretty much, but yeah, today I'm going to talk about routine, just kind of like what we do on a daily basis when we have school, and just kind of common questions people have about, how do you're at home, how do you do this at home, and keep structure, keep yourself from doing too much or doing not enough and all that. So this is officially my third year homeschooling. So yeah, if you guys are interested in any of that, just go ahead and keep on watching. So like I said, this year is my third year homeschooling. I have 3 daughters, 2 of them in school. I have a first grader and a second grader. So I've been homeschooling officially since my oldest was in kindergarten. So they've never been to school before, just a little backstory. Also, I want to stress that we are not homeschooling for religious reasons. I know that is a common theme throughout homeschooling, is that it's Christian based or some sort of religion, and we are not religious at all. We're definitely more spiritual people. We do not go to church. We're not Christian. We're not we were brought up, both me and my husband were brought up Catholic. We literally got married through the church and all the things, but yeah, we are not actively teaching any specific religion to our kids. We literally are exposing them to as much as we can as far as other types of religions and just ways of life. It doesn't always have to be a religious one. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of like start the video there. But I do use a Christian based curriculum. I've been using The Good and the Beautiful since I started homeschooling. I really like it. I do censor it like maybe 15%, and I just kind of, every time I'm planning and going through each lesson and figuring out what we're doing and all that, I will white things out. So it doesn't bother me. I don't criticize anyone that believes in God and religion and Christianity and all this stuff. To each their own. So I don't it doesn't upset me, or I don't get mad or whatever. I totally support this company. They do a great job with all the curriculum. So I simply just cater it to our lifestyle. Last year I was doing a different system, so I will kind of show you guys that in a second. But this year I decided to get the girls folders, and I do not have the math curriculum yet, just because The Good and the Beautiful came out with a new edition, I think, for all of the math curriculum. So they don't start selling them until August 3rd or something like that. I have it in my notes or in my calendar so I can order them. So coincidentally, when we're on break or when we're not doing school, we are still doing some sort of learning. So we were using these during summer break, and we got these at Target. My husband actually got them at Target. They were out of the second grade one, so he ended up getting a third grade one for Jet, which is my oldest, and then the first grade one is Charlotte's. And so it's really nice. It has a lot of, if you guys can see right there on the side, it has a ton of curriculum-based exercises and activities and one fun book. That's what it says. So it comes with language arts, spelling and vocab, reading and writing, math skills, word problems, multiplication. You get it. So we have been using this already. So since I wanted to start school 2 weeks before I would probably actually get the math curriculum, I said, you know what, we'll just use these for math specifically, and then we'll get started on everything else. So the other curriculum that I use is their language arts. So this is the second grade and this is the first grade. And what's nice is every year I just have to buy one curriculum because they're only 1 year apart. I just use Jet's for Charlotte's, every year. So yeah, so this is what I use. So what I do is I make copies of any pages that they will need to write on. So I will do that. I have my printer in the kitchen over here next to the fridge in the corner. It's honestly nice that we have been in the apartment, and me doing all the prep for school has been a little bit easier and harder at the same time. Harder in the sense where I have to find, you know, ways to organize things so I can remember where everything is and, you know, things don't get lost. But also easier where something that I need is going to be like right there in the next room, not upstairs in the corner in a closet kind of thing. So, or if I'm upstairs, it's like downstairs, you know, kind of thing. So, or the printer would always be upstairs in the office, and, you know, if I didn't have someone to, you know, be there with the kids, I'd have to take them upstairs with me kind of thing. So now the printer's right here in the kitchen, so it's pretty convenient, so that's nice. So I like to prep for 6 weeks of school. So we do 6 weeks on, 1 week off. That may vary depending on what I like to structure my breaks around. Is my mom, she also works for a school, and then Ramses, my husband, is in school right now as well. So depending on, you know, how much I have to adjust, I will have us off during either my mom's break or his break. So, and sometimes they just coincide, and then that's nice. And then for Christmas, we do a month off. We do 4 weeks off in the winter time. So it's kind of like in the winter time and in the summertime, we get 4 weeks off. And then in between there, it's 6 weeks on, 1 week off. So I do like to prep for 6 weeks, meaning I do like to write in my planner. I used to have a teaching planner that I got from Amazon last year, but this year I got an iPad Pro, and I've been using GoodNotes, and I've been developing my own planning system. Having a planner where I can customize as I go is really nice on the iPad, so I've been doing that. On there, honestly, it's just me kind of mentally mapping out what we're doing. Like if I don't write it down in my planner, it doesn't mean that, like, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to just like pick up where I left off. Also, the nice thing is that I share that book, that notebook of plans, like school plans, anything that I write in there, with my husband, and he also has an iPad with the GoodNotes and all that, and he also has been planning this year digitally. And if I'm not here and something's going on and he needs to like see what they should be doing or anything like that, he can just refer to his, you know, iPad kind of thing. Yeah, so this folder is Jet's, and then this one is Charlotte's. So for right now, it's a little empty because, you know, we're just getting started. Okay, and so for example, this is Sissy's folder. So this is the book she's currently reading. This is a notebook that she has just, you know, paper to write any spelling words, any sentences, anything like that she might need paper for. This is the handwriting notebook that she has. So she's done this day and this day. Like I said, we're on the second day, so tomorrow she does this. I just put a post-it in there. Works for us. And then I put tabs in here. Like I said, we're using these books right now for math, so she doesn't have anything in math right now, but she will once I get the curriculum in. And then this is upside down. But yeah, so I made copies for hers, and they're over there. So, and then once I start filling it up with the rest of the stuff, right now we've been doing more hands-on stuff, so I haven't had any like paper activities. And then at the very back, I just started doing this today. In the very back, I'm going to just put their completed papers in the very back. And then here is Jet's, and same thing. She has a notebook in here, her book, her handwriting, and then all of the tabs here, and I just make copies, put them in here, and then at the very back, I've been putting their completed work. Okay, and then as far as our setup goes, this is our kitchen, and we have the whiteboard here. I just figured this was the perfect spot to put this whiteboard. We have some little decor on top with some beautiful signs. I put this little thing here, this little garland, and then here I posted these up because the fridge couldn't handle all of the artwork, so I'm gonna put that up there, and any work that they want to display. So Sissy just did this today, Charlotte, Sissy, so she wanted to put it up there. And here's just everything that we need: pencils, whiteout, Post-its, my SD cards, some like reading book lights. This is just all the things. And then we do like charge stuff here, so we can put the iPads in here. We put our AirPods in here, like, you know. So This is a nice little spot for all of that stuff. So this area here is where I keep all the school stuff, read aloud books, chapter books, books I reference. This is what we used last year, these accordion folders. They worked well. I just felt like I needed something a little bit more open and just something different where the kids could just open it up and get right to work. They could find everything a lot easier. In here, it was just not as obvious to them like what they needed to do. So I would always be the one like using these, and I wanted them to be able to have a little bit more independence with their stuff. So the folders have been working great. This is more of the fun little cube with the colored pencils, the markers, paintbrushes, sketchbooks, and just more fun stuff, non-school stuff. This is Mavis's area down here, her books and her toys and all that. And as far as our schedule goes, it's honestly pretty simple. And if you do homeschool and you're struggling with, I have a like homeschool mom friend, Sabrina, and she and I were talking the other day, and she was like, you know, I still struggle. It's been like she's been homeschooling for a few years as well, and she's like, I still struggle to keep a schedule and all this stuff. And honestly, I've just kind of learned that it's okay, you know, it's okay to not have a super structured schedule, only because you're at home. That is the point of homeschooling. One of the points of homeschooling, at least for us, is the freedom to be able to have a life, you know, basically. Like, we don't have to stick with school for these hours a day, and if we don't, like, my kids get in trouble, or like you know, anything like that. Life happens, days are hard, and it's fine, you know, as long as you get the work done, your kids are engaged, and you're checking the boxes, the important boxes, more often than not, then, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. We also are really big on making sure we're always teaching them and always taking the time to answer their questions. And I say always, like, very loosely, like, parents out there, you understand what I'm trying to say. It's hard to do it all the time. You know, I'm here at home with them all the time. Sometimes I just tell them, hey, I can't answer your question right now, but why don't you go ask daddy? Or why don't you ask daddy when you get home? You know what, why don't you go write that in your journal, and we can talk about that before bed, you know, kind of thing. I'm just, you know, you just have to try to not make them feel like they're burdening you, or like they are not important, or what they feel is not important. That is a huge part of our lives with our kids, is trying to find a good balance of, you know, making sure that they are confident in making sure that they can ask us questions, they can ask us anything. We're not going to judge them or make them feel bad. But also, you know, creating boundaries and them understanding that sometimes we can't do certain things, and this is why. I'm a big person of explaining why something has to happen, or why something can't happen. So, you know, I never tell my kids, like, because I said so, because I'm your mom, because I just don't want to, you know, anything like that. I always try my best to, you know, answer their questions and be as honest as I can. Sometimes I do tell them, like, hey, I don't really know why. I just know that that's just how it has to happen. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it's just not fair, and, you know, we just have to move on and find the positive side of things. Like, I'm just honest with my kids. Like, if I talk to them like they're adults in one sense, but also at their level, where they're at their comprehension level, where they can understand what I'm trying to say, you know. Yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah. So as far as our schedule, loosely our schedule, if my husband is not home, the schedule goes a lot smoother, believe it or not. I mean, depending on Mavis, but last year I had my sister helping me because we lived near her. Now we don't, so she also works now, so we're not going to be having that luxury of her coming and hanging out with Mavis while we do school. So even then, it still goes a little smoother when my husband is at work and, you know, I'm by myself, because I just feel more pressured to be on a schedule and make sure things get done. When he's here, I'm just like, oh, you know, more like chill, you know. As far as when I'm here by myself, you know, with the kids doing school, in the morning when they get up on their own. Whenever they wake up, they wake up. It's usually between 6 and 7. Every single day. They hardly ever sleep in, and they get up on their own. They brush your teeth, they get dressed. You know, sometimes they don't get dressed, they'll stay in their pajamas, but honestly, like 75% of the time they get dressed for the day. And then either I am here or my husband is here. We'll make them breakfast. My husband or I will be at the gym. You know, we kind of like swap depending on what time my husband goes to work. So they will do their morning work when they get up, because usually breakfast is not ready yet. So they will do 10 minutes of reading, which is Jet. She will do 10 minutes of reading. She knows how to set a timer, and she will do that on her own. They will do their handwriting where the post is at, where I showed you. They know that they just do 1 page a day. We will just kind of glance at it, make sure they did it correctly, make sure they didn't miss anything. Sometimes that happens, or they assume something is about the page and they don't do it right, and we just have to, you know, make sure they do it correctly. And then they do their reading, handwriting, and then last year they would have bell work. Bell work is what I call it, bell work. That's what they call it when I was in school. So math work in the morning. So usually the math lessons have a, you know, section where you put the date, and it has a few, it's not always equations, but just depending on what they're doing. Sometimes, you know, they have to write the time of certain clocks, or sometimes put the time on the clocks, or do certain equations. So what I would do is I would copy those sections for each lesson, and I would put it in their notebooks, and every day they would complete that as well. So I just focused on things that they could do on their own, things that they know where it is, they don't need a lot of explanation, and they can, you know, access it themselves. And, you know, us just kind of glancing over and, you know, making sure they're doing it while we're making breakfast and kind of tending to Mavis kind of thing. So just focus on that, maybe having them do things at a certain time that you're busy doing something, but that they can do it on their own. So that for us is that. So it's the handwriting, the reading. For my first grader, we do have to be near her when she's reading. That way, if she needs help with the word, we can help her. My second grader is reading chapter books, so she's on her own pretty much. Sometimes she will ask us here and there for a word, but not really ever. She's a really great reader, so I trust her when she's reading her books and stuff. And then she will come and tell us about what she read. So that's her like kind of reading, and then comprehension. So handwriting, reading, and the math work. So right now, since we don't have the math textbooks, like I said, I still have to order them when they come out in next week. They are just doing handwriting and reading in the morning. Oh, and I forgot to mention a new thing that we added this year was a journal, a 5-minute journal. So they do it at night before bed, and then they do it in the morning when they wake up. And it's literally like 2 or 3 little things that they have to write in. Let me go grab one so I can read them to you. So I literally bought these on Amazon, and it's called the 5-minute journal for kids. I know there's an adult one. And in the back it says, based on positive psychology research, the 5-minute journal helps instill gratitude, boost confidence, and increase mindfulness. Filled with inspiring quotes, weekly challenges, and vocabulary, it's the perfect journal to learn, grow, and preserve positive memories for years to come. So I'm just going to give you a blank page here. So this is one page here. So this is the morning. This is the night. Okay, so they say sometimes there's a word of the day, sometimes there's a challenge. So this challenge says, create a list of all your dreams, write the date on it, and put it somewhere for safekeeping. Sometimes it's a quote like this Harry Potter quote, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. So then the 3 questions for the daytime is, I am grateful for, and then they fill in the blank. What would make today great, and then they fill in the blank. And then daily affirmation, I am blank. So that is the daytime. So when they wake up, that's a part of their morning routine, but they've been doing that since before we started school. And then at night, they answer the questions, one amazing thing that happened today, and then what did I learn today? We really, really love these, and I I was really surprised on how much the kids really like them as well. I thought I was going to kind of have to make them do it, but they look forward to doing them. So yeah, they do that. Then after they're done with their morning work, they have breakfast. So let me kind of go into, it doesn't always have to be super rigid. So if they wake up and breakfast is already ready, they'll just eat breakfast. And then after breakfast, they'll clean up and then they'll do their morning work, you know. So it doesn't always work out perfectly, but that's just, you know, an exception. And then after morning work and breakfast, they go downstairs, usually with my husband while I'm at the gym, and there's a game room downstairs. They'll go around the pool. There's another like area that we go in, kind of like, it's just like a huge like living room area, and it's just, you know, to get them out of the apartment. They go on their scooters, they go run around, so they have some, you know, leisure time. They'll do that, and then when we get back, usually I'll be in the shower and I'll be like kind of ready for the day, and I will start school with them at that point because my husband will go to work, and then we'll set Mavis up with some cocoa melon, or if she's just chilling, I'll put some music on for her. She'll hang out. I'll maybe hold her while I'm doing some stuff. The girls will sit here, and I don't know why I started doing math first. I feel like it just get out of the way. It was never my favorite subject, so I like to just do math first, and then after that we'll do language arts. So I just do like a juggling of things. Oh, and also this year, my husband has been taking charge of science and social studies. We'll sprinkle in history here and there, but social studies, we kind of like incorporate history in there. So he and I will talk about like what he wants to talk about this week, and he'll like look up videos and he'll kind of just have conversation with them about certain things. So this week they've actually been talking about water, the importance of water, where water comes from, like just kind of opening up a dialogue about water. And then at the end of the week we'll have a project about water. Right now they're at the pool, funny enough. But yeah, so just stuff like that. And yeah, so science and social studies, we're kind of collaborating on that, and then he will do that in the morning while he's with them, like in the game room or in the other like areas of our apartment complex, and he will do that, or he'll do it here before they go downstairs to do all that. And then when they come back and my husband goes to work, we will start school, we'll do math, we'll do language arts, we'll have a little break, and then we'll do some sort of activity. So school time is usually about 8:30 to 10:30 on a good day. Most of the time it's like 9 to 11, stuff like that. So for me to school them, it takes me about 2 hours or so, and that's it. After that, at 11:30 they have lunch. I will lay with Mavis so she can take her nap. I will like put makeup on, I will film some content, I will do whatever I want to do for about 2 hours. So from 11 to 1, doing whatever I need to do. The girls will be in their room. They have iPad time at that time, so they do not touch their iPad at all till 11:30 nowadays, now that we're doing school. And they will have 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours of iPad time. And also in there they can do ABC Mouse. They can do, Jet's doing piano right now, so she can do piano. They do drawings on the iPads. They have Apple pencils, so they really love to draw on the iPads. Sometimes they'll be doing Play-Doh and they'll be watching videos. Sometimes they'll be coloring. They'll be doing activity books while they're watching videos. So they just have that 3 hour window of time for iPad time. I have an alarm on my phone, and I will tell them to get off the iPads. They will plug them in and they will have no iPads. At that time, we will do a cleanup, like a family cleanup. Also, before they get their iPads at 11:30, I do require them to at least have their room cleaned up. I do not give them their iPad till their room is cleaned up. So I've been having an issue with them since we have not been on a, kind of routine schedule. That has been still implemented, the iPad thing. Even during breaks, we do not do iPad until 11, and that's it. Sometimes at the end of the day, we're hanging out, everything's cleaned up, their room's clean, everything's done. If they ask to get on the iPad, yeah, sure, go, get ready for bed, put on your pajamas, dinner's done, everything. they will have some extra iPad time at the end of the day kind of thing. So that's pretty much how that works. Right now, Charlotte is doing boxing. We are gonna start having Jet going with her once a week because right now she's not in any like physical activity, and we just want her to, especially now that we're in the apartment, we want them to have some sort of physical activity. Sissy really likes, Charlotte, Sissy, she really likes boxing. She was really the one that wanted to, you know, start doing that. So now that we moved closer, we have more options, and we ended up finding a really great place for her. So we're gonna start taking Jet on Thursdays with her. And then also we just bought Jet a keyboard because she's been doing Simply Piano for, I don't even know. She was doing it for a few months, and then she outgrew the app, and it was telling her like, okay, you need a keyboard or a piano. And, you know, we put it off just because, you know, kids want things every day. And lately she's still like, hey, like, do you guys think I could do piano? So I found a really cool, she's gonna do Simply Piano, but I also found a website where you can take lessons virtually. So we're gonna be starting that soon. We literally just got the piano in yesterday, or the keyboard. So she's super excited about that. So yeah, I think that's about it for today's video. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other questions, anything that I didn't answer, go ahead and leave it below, or find me on Instagram. I talk to you guys a lot on DMs and on Instagram. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!